Welcome to Cinematire Short Rants, where I talk about a specific costume thing that bugged me about a movie or TV series. And in today's episode, we're going to talk about those punk kids from the Book of Boba Fett. The Book of Boba Fett, a promise to fill us in on what the fan favorite has been up to since he was food. The series itself has so far been hit or miss with fans compared to the absolutely innovative Mandalorian series. I'm a fan of Star Wars, so when I see them doing well, I want to hope for the best. I like a lot about this series costume-wise. The Twi'leks in the show are so aesthetically pleasing. The costumes and makeup are gorgeous. Their leku don't look crunchy or dry like the ones that Tonks has in The Mandalorian. And Jennifer Beals looks gorgeous in everything she wears. I'm intrigued about why she has eyebrows. There's speculation that she might be half human. Also, there's a theory that this swole boy might be trans. Costuming is so good for hinting. Now that the beginning of my compliment sandwich is out of the way, I just fully have to dunk on the punk kids that Buck Strickland tries to get Boba to take out. Now this is where I go full boring fashion history mom and say there are things that once created will exist in various not quite changed forms. Trousers, shirts, dresses, skirts, jackets, we all know those things, and that they pretty much have always been things in some way or another. There are trends. Things that aesthetically look drastically different in such a way that they get associated with certain things in certain ways. A tuxedo jacket with tails, white wedding dresses, motorcycle jackets. Check out my video here about fashion history and fashion forecasting. This is why I am absolutely distractedly irritated with the costumes these punk kids are wearing, especially Drash. And here's why. For the most part, the clothing we've seen on people throughout these different civilizations and planets have been, to be frank, base pieces built up with things from their respective cultures, kits, basic jumpsuits, etc. Minimal things that won't necessarily make them look like they're from our Earth. Of course, there are some things here or there that I would tweak, but for the most part, it looks like a long time ago in a galaxy far away. Hell, even the speed bikers just give a nod to being bikers. You know they're bikers because they're on bikes. But they do one better by giving them patches on the backs of their jackets that are reminiscent of biker patches down to the bottom rocker. But if you look at their clothing, they aren't ham-fisted biker jackets. They're space guy alien jackets that anyone in the franchise might wear. Drash, on the other hand, is just wearing Joan Jett cosplay. Is it cute? Yes. Does it belong in this universe? No, absolutely not. Red tights with fishnets, biker jacket style vest with the iconic overlap lapel style that we only see on motorcycle jackets, a wallet chain, this punky flair, a wolf haircut. It's not shorthand to punk. It's I went to Hot Topic during back to school and bought the look off the mannequin. I'm pretty sure I styled a mannequin that looked just like that back when I worked at Hot Topic in the mid-aughts. The group is called the Mods because they're modified, and despite what people who made it say or what articles are saying, the aesthetic is not 1950s greaser or mod, it's straight up 1980s. And it's not Star Wars being filmed in the 80s, and so it's influenced by the 80s. It's just the 1980s. There are two kids who look like they might be basic Star Wars background characters, and I accept that. Unlike The Mandalorian, where Amy Sedaris looked like she was from the area in this civilization that the original trilogy was filmed, from the hair and the eyebrows where she just had that very, 80s aesthetic to her grooming, these kids just look like they are from Earth in the 1980s. No tongue-in-cheek references, no slight nods, it's just full 1980s punk cosplay. Now, if I were to redesign Drash, I would pick one thing. That would be my obvious 1980s punk thing. Hair, or makeup, or aesthetic. I wouldn't do a full head-to-toe earth punk look with an iconic specific article of clothing. The makeup should be more, so it's kind of alien. The hair should be more or less, so it's kind of alien, kind of space. The look should have the air of punk without looking like it was all purchased at an Earth mall. In episode 4, when we see the Mods who save Shan, the design is far more subtle. I believe these are in fact delinquent kids, and they aren't coded to tell me that by looking like alternative Earth kids. I love what Thundercat is wearing because it's kind of weird, but it fits in with the universe that's been built. And the one thing that's a little bit Earth is that his nails are painted, but it's just a flash in the pan thing. Nails are painted, whatever. The music in this scene is bomb too. So the takeaway from this is that there needs to be nuance in cultural references. We know a lot of the clothing in Star Wars is based heavily in Japanese traditional clothing, but it's done in a way that seems wholly its own thing. We know that their closures kind of have these rules. If you don't see zippers, you don't see visible snaps. If there's buckles, they're supposed to look different than buckles we might have here on Earth. What they did with Drash is what they did with the costumes in Caprica, and I refuse to fall down that rabbit hole with you just yet.
No frackin' way, Lee.
Anyway, I think I'm gonna go rewatch The Mandalorian. Now to ask you, if you were to redo this aesthetic to make her look like a delinquent teen in the Star Wars universe, what would you do to change her look? If you were a delinquent teen in the Star Wars universe, what would you wear? Thanks for checking out this video. Please like and comment. Thank you to my patrons for being amazing. I appreciate you. Until next time, be fancy, be adventurous.